Okay, so two more steps to go before it's finished. So a while ago, I painted the leaves and the berries and the vines, right? Now, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, add some, what do you call this? Glitter or some paint that would give the parts some shine or some definition. So let's start with the leaves. Okay, so the leaves are easy to do. For the leaves, I'm going to use this paint, this pearl green fabric paint. I also have this one, uh, pearlescent green. Okay, so you can use any. I'm going to use this, and it's going to give the leaves uh, a different tone, something something like it's mystical, like touched by pixie dusts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush and we're going to use the dry brush technique. Okay, so dry brush technique again is when you get some paint, apply some on the brush, remove the excess, and then slightly apply it. Okay, now hope you see this. This will give some shine to your leaves. Okay, there it has that light green shine. Okay, let's have it. Let's have some more. Okay, okay. I'm adding a little. Okay, just a little to give it some shimmer. Okay, so there. It's lighter now. Now I want you to look at this leaf here. Let's see if you can see the transformation because it's light green. It's a bit light. Yeah, it's you cannot almost see it, but it's there. There's that shine. It has that glittery, or it's actually like glitter powder. Very very fine. We usually have glitter in tubes or in small pouches, but the powder here they use is very very fine. It's fluorescent. Okay. So now look at the leaves. They are brighter. Can you see them? Okay. They have that shine. Okay, there. They have that shine. Compare it to these leaves that weren't touched yet. Okay, just dark green. Okay, now let's uh, finish all of it. So I have applied pearl green to this side. Now let's go to these leaves here. So just a little amount, as I was saying, as I have been saying a while ago. Now after this, I'll be adding some tinge of gold to make it, like touched by gold. Okay, but I'm going to let it dry first before I add the gold. So I'll be working on the other parts, maybe on the berries. After this, let's go to the berries. I wish they had a stock of this kind of paint. This I wish they had pink. I know they have, but maybe online you can order. But when I went to the bookstore that time, there was no stock. They didn't have supply of the pearl green. Okay. Again, by the way, let me remind you, I have other videos of crafts. I invite you to watch them. Okay. So there. So I have given shine to those embossed parts. Now they have that pearl green shimmer. Okay. Now let's go to this border here and this one here. For that, I'm going to use the pearl white. My pearl white paint is almost dried, so I'm going to try to squeeze out what remains. uh, I went to the bookstore this morning and they don't have any supply of the pearl white anymore. So I'm going to get some pearl white. Okay, let's use this brush. This is my pearl white. And because even though I try to squeeze it, it's almost like nothing comes out. It has hardened. What I'm going to do is, okay, I have cut something here. I made a cut here before. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze what remains and try to save what can be saved instead of throwing this away. Okay, because the shimmer that pearl white gives is really nice. If you don't have pearl white, you can use silver. If really, let's say you can no longer get anything out of it, which I think I can no longer get now. Okay, sorry for that. I'm just going to throw this away. So let's use silver. But pearl white would have been good. Let's use some silver and then some gold. For the silver, we are going to add it very, very thinly. Okay, so let's have silver here, there, just a small amount, because as I said, we'll be using a very thin, okay, thin amount. So let's see. I'm going to put some just to make it shiny. There. Okay, there. It has become shiny. Okay, you see that? It's shinier compared to those parts that have not. Okay, look at this part here. It's shinier compared to this one here. So I'm going to make it a little shiny with silver. A very, 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 very thin amount. Okay, to give it that touch of shimmer. Like as if it has been touched by pixie dusts. Okay, okay, there. So the border now has shine, some shimmer. Okay, but not too much. Okay, I want still to retain the gray, just a little. Okay, now let's do that also to the doorstep. I'm going to add some shimmer to the doorstep, a very thin amount. And then I'm going to add some gold because I want the doorstep to, look like it has been dirtied. Now look at the doorstep. It's shinier this time because of the silver. Now I'm going to add a little gold. Okay. I have my gold here, just a very thin amount. Because when you add the gold, it mixes with the silver to give it like that dirty soil, like mud, thin mud look. Okay, there, very thin. Let's put some. Can you see it? Okay, hope you can see it. Okay. Thinly. It's difficult because I cannot see what I'm doing, but at least you get to know or understand what I'm doing now. It's trying to give it like a soiled yellowish, because when you go to places where there are rocks, the rocks have that yellowish tone. Okay, so now it has some yellowish tone to separate it from this one is more on silver. This one has some gold. Okay, you see that? Now if you want still to make it a little darker, Then you can add a little bit of copper if you have some remaining paint here. No more. So let's just get a little of copper or maybe bronze. Let's try first with copper because bronze is so dark. Mhm. Bronze is so dark. Where's my copper? So remember guys, when you try to look for paint, make it a must to have silver, gold, and bronze, or also some copper. Okay. Okay. Here. Just a little to make it look like it has been dirtied by the slippers of the inhabitant of the house. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little dirty, a little soiled there. Okay, now it has like the dirty look, just a little, not too dark. I remember conducting a workshop before, and I told the participants, don't make it too dark, just a little. But some didn't follow, so the project didn't end up nice. Their outputs didn't come out nice. Okay. Okay, so even the rock, I tried with some copper or bronze to give it a brownish look. Now it's brownish. Okay. Now for the mushrooms. For the mushrooms, you can apply a thin layer of gold. Let's use another brush because I have wet this already. Okay, this one. And where's my gold? Okay, very thin for the mushrooms. Just very thin. Okay, let me move my chair so you can see it. Because of the lighting, sometimes you may not. Okay, here, let's start here. A little to give it some definition. Okay, maybe the edges, just the edges. Don't cover all of the mushrooms, just the edges. If you applied too much, wipe it with your fingers immediately. Okay, I'm going to add here, the edge. Now look at the mushrooms now. Okay, let's see here. Let's see with the light if you can see it. Okay, there, look at the mushrooms. I added gold to the rim of the head of the mushroom. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with this one here. I'm going to put here on the edge to show where the curves are. Okay, maybe a little on the body, just a little to give it some shine. Maybe a little silver if you want, just a thin part silver. Okay, play with colors. You're going to learn through experience. It took me some time, and even now I'm learning. A while ago, when in the other video, remember I painted this green, uh, and this one here, I added some green. I found it not good. I covered it again. This one with uh, copper or bronze, because the bronze looks better. Now for the berries, a little bit of gold, just like in the mushrooms, just a little bit. Okay, just a little, just to give it some shine. Just a little, or maybe silver would be better because the vines are already. Okay, let me wipe what I applied a while ago. You might see me making corrections, but this is how I'm doing it. Sorry for that. Uh, a while ago, I applied gold, and then I wiped the paint off with my fingers because this is how I do my video. It's real time. I'm recording what's happening, complete with even my errors and my tips and my mistakes. So there, just a little to give it some shine. thin. Let's make it thinner, much thinner. Okay, there. Now the berries have that little bit of shine. If too much, you just wipe them off, because too much paint is not good. Okay. So just a little. You know how I wish I had a cameraman who would take the videos for me? But because I live alone in this apartment, so I'm doing with what I have. So already we had applied uh, tones or highlights. How about some to the vine? Just a little. I'll add a little gold, just a little, to make them shiny. Just a little. Okay. After this, I'm going to color this part here, the can. I'm going to put highlights. Okay. A little gold on the bronze will make some areas, especially the ones that are puffed or embossed, lighter, and others, the ones not reached by the gold, like deeper tone. Okay, so there, so nice. And tomorrow when I wake up, I'm going to apply spray paint. I'm going to do that tomorrow, the clear gloss paint. Um, why? Because tomorrow I need sunlight. The heat helps in the drying process. It's going to make it dry. And someone told me that when it's sunny, uh, when the paint dries, it becomes, the finished product looks shinier. Okay. Now I'm going to paint the windows. Okay. I'm going to add some silver on inside the windows to make them look like glass. Okay. And then later I'm going to use a thinner brush for the corners. Okay, that's how it is now. Now I'm going to use a thinner brush for those harder to reach areas. There, corners. If you have, I think I have yellow pearl paint. I can add a little yellow to make it appear that there's light from the inside of the house. But now it's silver for the glass. Okay, look. With the thin brush, I'm able to reach those corners that are hard to reach by broader brushes. Okay, now let's go to this part here. Okay, so this is the second to the last step. Tomorrow morning, as I said, I'll be spray painting this. I'm not going to show you anymore the process because it's the same. The way you apply the black, the base color, whether you're going to use black or brown, the way you apply it with the spray paint is the same way. You finish it off by spraying 2 or 3 coats of clear lacquer. What you do first is um, you spray paint with lacquer, let it dry, and then once dried, add another uh, layer. Oh, don't forget the inside and the bottom. And then after you add the third one, and it would be once dried, it's going to be very shiny. Now, I'm not sure if I have a glass bead that I can place here, but in the meantime, I'm going to paint this silver, to make it look like glass. Okay. So there you have a window. Okay. Let's see. I think I have a yellow. Where's my yellow? Okay. Yellow pearl paint. This is my first time to use this. Okay. See, it's still sealed. I don't know what the effect would be. So let's try. Let's try to discover it together in this video. So thinly, just thinly, I'm going to put some smudges of yellow there. If you think you want more yellow, then you add some more. But the yellow gives it a look like there's someone inside with light coming from inside the house. Okay, let's get some water because the first uh, part of the paint that came out has so much oil. Okay, this one I think is better. Okay, there it is. It's more yellow. Okay, so now it's silver and yellow together, and that is nice. Okay, silver and yellow. Okay, so it looks like light inside. This has no yellow yet. Okay, so let's add yellow. So there, it's like there's someone inside with candle using a candle. So there's candlelight coming from inside the house. There. Some more. So it's my first time to use this and it looks nice. I like it. So I'll be doing this in other videos that I need to have a window. Okay, some yellow. Uh, I'm not going to cover all the silver with yellow because I want it to be a mixture of yellow and silver. Okay. So later I'm going to, when I pause the video and before I go to bed, I'm going to look for a glass stone, a resin stone that could fit this part here, the porthole. If not, if there's none, I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, so there's the hole with the yellow tinge. I want more yellow. And then I'm going to dry brush the background of the can to give it some accent. Okay, so there's the yellow. Okay. Okay, it's yellow now. Can you see it? There, it's yellowish. Okay. Inside the house, through the window, there's light coming from inside the house because of the yellow paint. Okay, now let's do some coloring on the background, the can, the brown part, to give it a look of, like wood. Let's use some gold. I'll start with gold first, so it's gonna be light. And then if I want, wood doesn't have just one color. It's not just brown and dark brown and brown. Sometimes there's white, sometimes there's green. So let's use a little bit of gold. I'm going to put gold on my board. Okay, let me put that lower. Okay, there. Uh-huh. Okay, let's use this brush. No, I think this brush works better. Okay, dry brush. Brush, brush, brush. Okay. Now what I mean is I'm going to retouch, you know, give it some, a while ago it's black and then it's brown, and now I'm adding a thin layer of gold. Okay, do you see the difference now? Okay, there's a little bit of gold. So just dry brush. Okay, look, I'm dry brushing it. Again, dry brush is when the brush has so little paint and then it's so thin that, you know, that's why I use tissue paper. Remember, I use tissue paper because the tissue paper, when you dry brush, you will get that effect. This effect here. There's the gold, okay, because of the tissue paper. So if you want projects with some antique look, use tissue paper. Go to the first part of the video or look at the other videos I have done before, like the one with the fairies, the one with the fairies, the one with the butterflies. You look at those. It shows how I put tissue paper on this. Okay. So now all the areas that I want to be reached with gold has gold. Now let's not forget the bottom and the inside. Okay. Make sure every part of your output is quality. It's not just the ones people see that look good, but make sure even the underside, the bottom, looks good. We have this Filipino saying, it's not, it should not be pwede na yan. It should be pwede na yan. Okay? Because when you say pwede na yan, okay, it's so, okay, it's past. It's good, it's okay, but you don't settle for something that's okay. You try to settle for something that's better than okay. Okay? Look for something better. Make something much better. Produce better quality work. So if you're going to do this, to all the elementary students of Teacher Abigail, hi Mom Abigail, and all the teachers at your school teaching this craft to your students, and to all the students watching this video, remember, do your best. Especially if you're going to give this as a gift, you plan to make this as a gift to someone, make sure even the inside looks good. Okay? I could say, oops, no more paint. It's okay. Now, if you still have paint, you add some more so that the other parts of the inside are painted well too. We have this word, I think it's from Spanish origin, pulido. Everything should be pulido. Okay. Should be pulido. When you say pulido, wow, very good quality. Okay. So we have the gold. Now, so we have the gold here. I'm going to add a little bit of, just a little bit of um, bronze, a little bit. Just a little bit. just to make some parts a little darker than the gold. Okay? Because for trees, now for this one, I might not use the strokes going up or down or sideways. Okay, I'm going to remove the paint and I'm going to do it a little bit like this. Okay, now make sure not too much because it might overpower the branches. Now let's say you applied too much, you just cover it with another color, maybe green or something dark. Okay, so make it light. Okay, so now you have that color. Let's paint the underside too. Okay. Usually I like putting some paint on the edges below because it gives it that, you know, nice look of, I don't know how to explain that, but you know, like you didn't, uh, y- you were not saving too much paint, but you're applying what the amount that needs to be applied. Okay, also here on the top, so that you can see the rim. You can see the rim of the can. Okay, the border, whatever you call that. Okay, let's add some pearl green, a little, just to give it like a little mossy look. Green gives it the tarnished look. Okay, there, like copper or bronze that has been exposed to air, and you know, it gives it a tarnished look. Okay, just a little. Now I forgot to add border to the leaves. Remember a while ago I told you for the leaves I'm going to let them dry. So now that I have applied what needs to be applied, let's go back to the leaves. You know, if you don't have brushes, sometimes you can use cotton buds in applying color. But you know, um, for the edging, for the edges of the green leaves, I better use a thin brush like this. It's very thin, but flat. Okay, flat. So I'm going to put some, okay, I have here extra on my board. I have extra. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply thinly on the edges of the leaves. Okay, just the edges. Can you see? Here, the edges just touched. Okay, there. A little. Now I want you to look at the leaves here below. Just the edges. Okay. So that you can see more of the shape. You can see clearly the shape of the leaves. So this is the last part. No, not really. Tomorrow is the last part. Again, tomorrow I'm not going to show you how to spray paint. You just look at my other videos. It's the same way as applying the base color. Tomorrow when I return, or in the next video when I return, um, you will see the finished product, and I'll be discussing some things and maybe some tips. You know, I'm planning to make one like with a fence and then like stalks with flowers and blades of grass or leaves, long leaves. I'm planning to make one like that. You know what, you might ask, teacher, what are you going to do with all of your projects? Uh, I'm going to share them. I'm working from home now, and should the company tell us to go back, I have some teammates who are women and who would love to have something like this on their desk so that they can have their pens or their markers in a container. I can say that with based on experience. When I was in public school teaching in public school, I made some projects like this. You just go to my YouTube channel, and then I gave them away to the registrar, to the teacher of, to the daughter of a teacher. His daughter happens to be fond of Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, so I made a decor with a fairy house, a rock with a fairy house, and she loved it. And the father, who's the teacher, said, "Oops, we're going to save this, put it on the shelf, because if you play with it, you know, it might get destroyed." So she was not able to play it with her little fairy toys. So there we have it now. All the leaves have been given borders. Let's see if you can see them. Okay, now notice the leaves. The initial color is light green, and then I added pearl green, and then a border, some touches of bronze. Okay, so I love it. This is what I'm going to spray paint tomorrow. So remember, a while ago this was black, right? But now, because of the brown and the gold and some bronze and some green, it now has the color of wood. Okay, so I have extra paint, bronze here. I'll place it inside rather than throw the board away with some paint. I'm going to use the paint. Oops, I need some more. I need some more. I used what was left here a while ago, but then I noticed I need some more. Okay. So this is going to give the inner part the same color as the outer part to make your work pulido. Because the teacher, when he grades you, if I were the teacher, if I were your teacher, I'm not going to look just at the outside. I'm going to look at the inside. I want to see how you did the project well. Were you concerned only at what can be seen outside, or were you also concerned at what others may not see? Because the inner part is very important. Okay, so there, ta ta ta. Okay, so now let's look. This is now the bottom. The inside has been painted too, and there you are. So see you in the next video. You might see this one. I'm going to look for a stone that fits here. I'm going to get something like crystal with white with some crystalline sparkle. And then I hope there's one. I know there are, but I hope I would be able to find one that fits here. If I do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use glue. Remember the adhesive E6000 or E7000? I'm going to apply some and put the stone there, and you have a crystal window. Okay, see you later.